Mm-hmm.
I
Do you recall anything that's top secret that you're not saying? Or that you don't tell people?
outside of I intercepted and identified a lot of signals as the platform when I was in the service. Electronic warfare was what I was really good at. I could hear a signal across the room and tell you what it was, and if I knew what part of the country it was in, I could probably tell you what platform it was on.
Interesting. What about psychotronic warfare?
It's a very real thing.
Do you think you were involved in that?
I almost would have had to have been. But do I have any memories of it? No.
But you think you're knowledgeable about it?
I'd say I was knowledgeable about it.
Oh, yes.
Okay. When you heard Duncan's story, does it trigger something in you?
At times it will. What's interesting is we both have experienced psychic attacks. And I mean just vicious attacks, to where they will keep us up for days.
Are you psychic?
Where were you at 1:45 today? Where were you geographically at 1:45?
Pretty close by. We were getting here, weren't we?
How close were you to Shoshone?
We were in Shoshone at one point.
Yeah, you drilled it. Okay, you drilled it.
I said they're very close to, they're in Shoshone. Mm-hmm. At 1:45, I walked out.
So you're saying, have you studied remote viewing?
No.
To your knowledge, have you studied it?
No.
And is it frustrating to you not to know what happened to you?
No.
It's not.
And let me tell you why it's not. I believe that those memories will be revealed when the proper time comes to me. Or if I dig enough. I keep myself busy with my dogs, my wolves, and computers. Mm-hmm. And I have good friends who know me. They don't always understand me, and that's not important to them.
You know, you have memories that you shared, but you don't know what they were. They were surrounded Vietnam and anything else besides Vietnam?
St. Thomas.
St. Thomas.
St. Thomas.
We had to go down to St. Thomas on business. And we're walking up through the marketplace, and there's an island off St. Thomas that we both knew.
Mm-hmm.
And as we were walking in the marketplace, this woman says, I looked at Duncan and said, I haven't seen you in many years, and I haven't seen you in about 20.
Wow. So that you were both recognized.
Yes, yeah. By more than one person.
Wow.
And that, we talked about it. And I had no conscious recollection of any of these people. And we looked at this island, and I said, on the other side of that is a training base.
Mm-hmm. And there was.
And there was.
What military occupies
We're not
that
sure.
area?
We're not sure.
Oh, really?
Honestly, I don't think it was standardized military.
No, it was. My best guess would be that there is a group within the military that engages totally in psychological warfare, warfare.
St. Thomas, you don't know what kind of military or black projects are going on there now.
No, but I have noticed that I've been in battlefields in many parts of the world. And I can walk across those battlefields and I can experience and hear in my mind. But it was pointed out to me when a friend and I were walking Pickett's Charge at Gettysburg. And I looked at Len, and Leonard looked at me, and we were both crying because it was so... War is such a pitiful thing, caused by bankers to enrich companies and themselves. There's never been one logical reason for a war. Not one. And the war on terrorism, to me, is a farce. It's about controlling this country and setting it up for the New World Order.
You're an electronics expert. Do you think you're being watched or tapped into?
There's no doubt in my mind. And you know what? I really don't care.
Do you find yourself knowing things you didn't know you knew in terms of electronics?
Yeah.
I would like to understand all that I know.
Pulse went through that speaker.
Yep.
The TV just went on by itself.
No, pulse went through that
A
side
pulse
speaker.
went through. A psychic pulse was fired at this house.
Just now?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what that sound was?
Yeah, I wonder if you're recording anything.
You're convincing me that you go back a long way. What happened after that would be an association between the two of you?
Let me let Dunk explain something to you. That he ran into a gentleman at a coffee shop in Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay.
It was, trying to remember exactly where it was. I know it was Lex, but I can't remember. Sitting there, just having a cup of coffee. Guy comes up in a suit, sits down, and he looked at the tattoo, and he said, "Is that a military tattoo?" And I said, "No, that's my own little design, like I always say." And he said, "Well, I spent some time in the Navy." And I said, "Well, good. You ever hear of Dave Corso?" And he backs up and says, "Dave Corso. You know Dave Corso?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I do." And the guy just gets up and walks off.
Come on, you're psychic. What was your impression?
He was scared. Mm-hmm. The man was terrified.
He's not the only person who's come up to you or you've told that you met, because you started to tell another incident.
Right, and I am totally blanking on that one. And this happens from time to time. And I remember telling you about it. But from there, it's just totally blanking out.
What do you remember about it?
That somehow my name got mentioned, and the guy said, "Dave Corso?" And he described me, down to the tattoos, to Dunk, and said that was the best Marine Corps sniper in Vietnam. And I have absolutely no knowledge of it.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that's interesting about Pahrump, there's over 200 vets, Vietnam vets that live in the hills around here. In this valley, there are over 800 ex-Special Forces types.
So it attracts that.
It is the largest known contingency of any location where there's that many ex-Special Forces types.
Well, this has been a fantastically interesting exploration, and you guys are really revealing a lot of trust to allow us to come into your house, under these conditions and ask you these questions. And I just want to really thank you both.
Don't expect your life to become any easier.
Okay.
No.
Okay.